Hi guys, I'm back, and I've borrowed my roommate's wheelie chair. Oh yeah! Wow! So how many of us have started a story to a good friend that goes something like this? You will not believe the dream I had last night. Because dreams are weird. And then we were in this glass castle, but then we flew away on a blue cat, and then we were at your house, and then our teacher tried to kill us.
What the
So I got 2 questions about dreams after the previous video from these 2 awesome people up here, so I figured we'd talk about dreams. Now, psychology and especially the science of dreams are still considered a pretty soft science, which means that there's not much quantitative knowledge that we have about them. A lot of the things that we know about dreams are not necessarily hard fact. But let's start with some basics. So there are 2 general stages of sleep. There's non-REM sleep, and there's the REM stage, which stands for rapid eye movement. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to talk about it in terms of REM sleep and NREM sleep, or non-REM sleep. So in NREM sleep, your muscles are a little bit more under your control than they are in REM sleep. You're really hard to wake up, and all of your neural processes are being regulated by your medulla. In REM sleep, your muscles are almost completely out of your control. There's a lot of neural activity going on regulated by a part of your brainstem, and so all of your muscles are twitching, your facial muscles are moving, there may be some jerking happening, and of course, the reason it's called REM is because your eyes are moving underneath your eyelids. So a sleep cycle lasts about 90 minutes, and at the end of that 90 minutes, for about 10 minutes, you'll go into REM sleep, and then you'll start the cycle over again. So what are dreams? That is the question. So what we know is that when we're sleeping, we have a lot of brain activity happening. And scientists have been talking for a long time about why we dream and why there's so much neural activity going on when we're sleeping. A general consensus is that while we're sleeping, our brain is reviewing information that we've absorbed throughout the day, and it's helping us learn that information. So while we're sleeping, our brain is taking information that we've stored in our short-term memory and transferring it to a more long-term memory part of the brain, which is why when we come to college, a lot of people say it's better to get some sleep before an exam as opposed to pulling an all-nighter, because then your brain will have some time to process that information. It works. Trust me. In relation to learning, dreams also help us store and remember new skills. So for example, if you're learning how to play an instrument, if you're learning lines for a play, if you're memorizing information for a test, your brain is going to go over those neural pathways while you're sleeping. A recent study, for example, showed that the neural pathways that rats used when they were learning how to navigate a maze were the same neural pathways that their brains were reviewing while they were asleep. So all of this neural activity that's going on in your brain is being produced by the lower centers of the brain. And a lot of scientists think that dreams are just images and storylines, per se, produced by the higher centers of the brain to make sense of all of that random neural firing. The reason for dreaming, however, is still hotly under debate. Nova, for example, a show on PBS, recently aired a special on dreaming where they said that dreams could possibly be preparing our bodies and our minds for situations that could happen. So for example, if you were out camping and you have a dream about being attacked by a bear, scientists say that that dream is preparing your body with how to handle that potential situation. On a related note, nightmares. So nightmares are dreams, obviously, but they stem from a really deep-rooted fear or a trauma. So for example, someone with post-traumatic stress disorder will often have dreams relating to their traumatic event, replaying the situation over and over and over again in their head, and scientists say that this is a mastery dream, or an attempt of that person to gain mastery over the situation that was so traumatic to them. However, nightmares can still happen even if we haven't been through a particularly traumatic event. And this is because your brain is trying to work through some sort of conscious or, again, maybe subconscious fear that you are holding within you, trying to work through it, trying to prepare you for how to handle it, trying to get you to gain mastery over it. But often, we wake up before that happens, and so the dream is just scary. So one of the specific questions was, why don't we remember our dreams? And this has a lot to do with what your dream is about, what it's related to, and when you wake up in relation to when you had the dream. So like we said before, REM sleep has the most dream activity, and so if you wake up in REM sleep, you're much more likely to recall your dream, and if you do recall it, it's much more likely to be vivid. If your dream had a really high emotional content, if it was very personal, you're much more likely to remember it as opposed to just running over notes or lines or names in your head. So overall, dreams are fascinating, and it's a field that still has a lot of exploration to do, and sleep science is a huge field that's growing right now. If you're interested in more about dreams or sleep in general, you can look down in the links below to my source. It had such amazing information that I wanted to share with you guys, but I had to pick and choose to make this video short. So check it out for some awesome stuff, and I'm gonna leave you guys with 5 awesome facts about dreams. 1. Studies show that all of us dream in color. 2. External stimuli, or the things in the space around us while we're sleeping, can sometimes creep into our dreams, but not very often, and studies have shown that tactile stimuli, or somebody touching you or something that you feel, is the most likely to enter a dream. 3. Dreaming is technically a form of consciousness. 4. Infants don't dream about themselves as individual entities until they're around 3. And 5, we spend about 1/3 of our lives sleeping. Why? I could be doing so much more with that time. Though I do love sleep. I'm not gonna lie, I love sleep. So that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for asking questions. I love hearing from you guys. You guys are awesome. I will see you next Tuesday. I'm gonna go take a nap because talking about sleep has been great. And don't forget to pack your lunchbox. Ba-da-da.